All right, I turned it on.
Oh my God.
So tell me, what is your wish list when it comes to getting a couch?
Well,
What's on it? What
my
makes
God.
it? Yeah.
Okay, we had this conversation. We just talked about this like 35 minutes ago.
I know. I want to bring
You're
it up
bouncing back.
because I'm not allowed to talk about the cold open while we're doing the cold open, so I'm not saying it.
Okay. All right. So
Couch open.
Well, okay. I don't know anymore because we were talking about this, and now you have made me think.
Okay. So here's what I said to you.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
The criteria for a good couch is it makes you feel like it's giving you a hug. And
Yeah.
anything else is unsatisfactory to me. I had a relationship with a bad couch. This is not a metaphor, people. I'm literally talking about a couch. I had a bad relationship with a couch. It was abusive for many years, and I guess it's the couch that I thought I deserved.
It's not funny because some people have bad abusive relationships, and we're laughing about it.
No, this was my relationship with the couch, and eventually I decided to make a change in my life. And I did, and it cost me financially, but it was so worth it. And now I have a couch that I love. I feel like it loves me back. I feel like it gives me hugs. I take great naps on it. It's soft. It's got great pillows. And then I got a chair to match. So I'm very happy with my living room setup.
It's a great setup. I do like your couch, and I
Right.
like your chair, and it's perfect. I mean, I'm a little bit limited with space, as we've talked about, so I'm going to figure all that out today when I go take measurements of the place. But because I cannot actually bring something that I would really like into that space.
Right, because of space.
I'm limited by cash a little bit. I can still find something really great that's like not super expensive, but something I could plop into, but something that also makes me feel like a functioning human being.
Yeah, but it should feel like home. So I guess that's the question, people. What do you want in a couch? Cue the music.
Wait, do you ever get disappointed when you're showing someone something for the first time and you really want them to get it? And
No,
they
not
don't?
at all. I think
Yes.
Oh.
Matt knew exactly where I was
Absolutely.
going with that question.
I'm clearly an Eeyore.
I'm probably Rue.
I'm a Christopher Robin with a poo rising.
And then I get in a canoe and I'm like, Claire's don't like canoes.
No, they don't.
I'm afraid of this lake.
That's exactly what it was.
Ow.
It was a beautiful moment in our friendship. I was
literally in the middle of getting hers up and down the
Pathetic.
stairs. Ow. I was like, I'm trying to get my hair done. I'm like,
I don't think that's an accurate representation of my owl.
well, you were in such pain you couldn't see clearly. So,
Trauma.
Thank you for listening to the Last Will podcast. I'm Matt Young. I'm a theater educator and a parent. And ever since I lost my father to cancer, I have been mildly obsessed with death. This is my last will and testament. Randall Hall once said, "Maturity is knowing when to be immature." It's just Claire and I this morning, and we are tackling the idea of maturity, adulting, or whatever you want to call it. Of course, we do our natural wandering over topics, and we cover a whole bunch of stuff about bullying for sure. But with humor, with honesty, with vulnerability, we try to tackle maturity. Enjoy. Welcome to the Last Will podcast. We are back. We haven't been going for a while. Claire's got a new chair that she's sitting in that I finally put together. I think we've talked about that.
I just lowered
and you
the
lowered
chair.
it. Is that better for
which
you?
is better because I didn't adjust the mic before we started to record, so the mic was too low, so I just had to lower the chair. So now I feel like...
You look normal.
Is it normal? Is this the normal height that it used to be?
I think it's because my knees don't feel great that I always put the chairs up at the highest they should be.
Oh, I'm about to regret this. I mean, I'm sitting cross-legged on this chair, which is my preferred posture.
Okay.
Which is also terrible for your posture, but it's my preferred thing, you
Right.
know, cross-legged. But my knees are going to complain after this. Do you remember when I had that little bicycle under the table?
Yes.
I don't need it anymore. Oh, it's right over there.
Yeah.
Because
I put it out of the way.
I was
Almost
so-
clean.
I was fidgety.
Yes.
I was having a fidgety problem.
That's
for a bit.
because your butt was sore sitting on the wooden chair that you were
No,
sitting on.
I was having fidget problem. I was having weird, like it was a medication that I was on that made me like twitchy.
Oh, right. You were, yeah. Okay.
Not twitchy, but I needed to like be moving.
Moving.
Like I couldn't sit still in the chair.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you and Grady were like, just good Lord, what's going on with her?
What do you think, Grady?
Oh, his mic's not on.
Oh, okay. I'm going to turn it off for the whole show. No, it's just Claire and I today. And so we were talking about couches because we're kind of, the topic for today is maturity, which really is like our proper way of saying adulting. You know, that's a very popular phrase these days.
Not what
to be
I thought
adulting.
of. Not what I thought of when we brought this topic up.
What did you think before we get to the definition? What was going through your mind when I brought up maturity?
Well, first of all, you came up with the topic really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that was
Matthew was dealing with a maturity issue within himself,
which is it's a great topic. And I wanted to pick a topic that had to pertain to what I'm going through, which is a move. I'm moving, and it does actually have to do with maturity. But when I think of maturity, I think of growing. Maybe it does have something to do with being an adult, but adulting has its own definition too, because being an adult, like people think that if you're an adult, you have passed a certain age and then you need to start acting maturely.
in a certain way. We shouldn't use the word to define the word.
I can't define it. You're just going to have to go ahead with the
just go with the
definition because
definition. Okay, let's
today's
go.
not a good word day for me.
Okay. Maturity is the state of being fully developed or grown, encompassing emotional, intellectual, social, and physical dimensions. It involves the ability to manage emotions, make informed decisions, take responsibility for one's actions, and navigate relationships effectively. Maturity reflects a level of wisdom and understanding that allows individuals to respond to life's challenges in a thoughtful and composed manner.
Okay.
AI fucking hit it out of the park.
That
this
was pretty
time,
good.
Right?
Yeah.
That I couldn't have come up with that if I had 3 monkeys typing on typewriters for 1,000,000 years. They wouldn't have come to
that sounds like fucking chaos.
That is. That is. I don't know what philosopher came up with that, but I just don't think that's possible.
Okay, can you read the first sentence again?
Sure. Maturity is the state of being fully developed or grown, encompassing emotional, intellectual, social, and physical dimensions.
Okay. Now, my question is anyone ever like that?
No, I think that's the big myth.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there are times where we can display those things, but I think for the most part, that's the big myth that when you're a kid, you don't understand. Because as an adult, as a 51-year-old, my immaturity level in my brain sometimes is no greater than 18 to 28.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't think, like I don't think like I thought my father would think when he was being my father. And I'm a father of a 17-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that I have those responsibilities are amazing to me because of how immature sometimes my thoughts can be.
Mm-hmm.
So can we encompass that all the time? I don't think so. I think that's the myth.
It is really interesting because like when you just said that, I just thought of, you said 18 to 28 and I was like, I don't think I even act that way. I don't think, I was pretty petulant when I was 17 to 18. I was going through some stuff at the time. It was a big time. It was like the college decision time. I had some health issues. My mom wanted to keep me inside all the time because I had health issues.
You were like the boy in the bubble almost.
Kinda, yeah. And so I had some, and so now I think that I act out as a 35-and-a-half-year-old person.
Right.
I act out because I feel like I didn't get to, I guess, what am I trying to say? I feel like I was not given the opportunity to get what I want when I was younger. And so I acted out then, but as an adult-ish, I'm the age of an adult, I still feel like when someone tells me no, I still feel like I have to act like a child.
Yeah.
It's a long-winded way of saying what I really wanted to say.
Is that you are going to be defiant. No one's going to tell you what to do. If you want to have cereal for dinner, you're going to have cereal for dinner.
Well, I know, and that's it. Isn't that crazy? Like, my parents
Yes.
will not have cereal for dinner,
How dare they?
but I would be like, you didn't let me have cereal for dinner when I was a kid, so I'm going to fucking do that today.
Yes, yes, you can make your own decisions. I buy my own groceries. I could decide what's
Yeah.
in my house, and yet sometimes I'm like, I won't push the boundaries.
But you know what's bad about that is that we're having cereal for dinner.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I look at this sometimes and I'm like, well, I'm going to buy as many fruit roll-ups and Gushers and gummy shit fruit snacks that I want because I didn't get those when I was younger because my mom was trying to keep me healthy.
That's
And
true.
here I am, like, the dentist is like, is sugar cavities is going on in your teeth. And I'm like, yeah, so,
What's your problem?
and
Stop judging me, dentist.
I was deprived of all of these indulgences when I was younger, so I'm trying to catch up as an adult.
Yes, because you like binge. I did there was no sugar allowed in my house, so I went out and I binged, and I think I'm still binging. Well, although because I have kids, though, I can have stuff in the house and make it look like it's for the kids. Although I don't really. There's always M&Ms and there's always Swedish Fish. I have a Swedish Fish kid and I have an M&Ms kid, so there's always that stuff in the house. I also give it to them freely because I don't want them to binge like I did as a kid, and they will have it every night. But like they're lanky kids. They don't have that. They get their stuff and then they're good. Like my eldest will be like, no, I had enough sugar for today, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that was
Is
never
there-
my experience.
Is that a thing? You could have enough sugar? I mean, I would feel bloated like the girl who eats the blueberry, the strawberry, or whatever.
Well, that was
Willy
different.
Wonka, and you could
She
roll
only
me out
ate
and I'd
one
be-
thing.
but I would still, after I feel like that, I'd be like, could I have more? There's another piece of cake. We don't want to leave just a one piece of cake,
I
right?
know I mean, we could go on and on and on about overindulgence on food because it is such a weird psychological thing.
Can I just say on a side note that the birthday cake that I bought that we had with the
really
Lord of the
good-
Rings,
the strawberry dream cake.
the strawberry dream cake, right? I did not throw it out.
Do you still have it?
No.
Oh, is it in the freezer?
I ate it.
Well, of course. That's
I think there were 2 large slices left.
yeah.
Like I gave one to my youngest, and he was like, it's not really for me. So we did throw that piece out, but I wasn't gonna put the one piece back in the fridge. So I ended up eating 2 huge pieces and feeling sick, but I wasn't gonna throw it out. But I'm an adult.
But
I can do that.
But how did you? Over how much time did this happen? Was it like a couple days?
Maybe 4 days at the most.
Okay, I think that's totally normal. It wasn't a very
Maybe
large
3
cake.
days.
I had a slice. You had a slice that night. I think your son had a slice that night
Yes.
too.
Yes.
And then you probably had half of cake left, right? And then over 4 days, I would have done the same thing.
Maybe it was less than 4 days. I don't know. It's
okay. We'll
the,
just
the
say-
way the way that I finished it off.
We are
was
recording,
a little,
so-
it was a little indulgent.
Well, I always find and I was telling you this too during my birthday, people know that I love sweets. So all they do is get me sweets.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden I have like 5 cakes and 8 boxes of donuts and I can't eat it all. And then all of a sudden I'm like having sugar headaches and I've gained 5 pounds and it's ridiculous. But it's like I want to eat the ice cream cake my parents get me every year.
Yes.
And then my job gets me a cake, which is a really, really nice whatever cake I choose. And then XYZ. But
What do you choose as a cake?
something with chocolate.
Yeah, you're chocolate.
Except now that with my new diet, I don't really eat chocolate anymore.
Oh.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how
You're
it
gonna
goes.
get chocolate coffee cake. That's what you're gonna
Yeah.
want at that time.
I mean,
It's so interesting. We're talking about adulting, and we just went right to food.
well,
We got a problem. No, you're doing good.
but it's sorry, my salesperson from a furniture store just texted me.
Oh yeah, they're like your couch is going soon. We want to get you in here.
What
We
do I
gotta,
say to her? She wants to meet with me tomorrow. She sent me a really cute text. She was like,
is it a meat cute?
No. It's she knows that I'm here. You know what? Whatever. I'll talk about that
No,
later.
come on. What is it? This
Okay,
is
no.
adulting. This is 100% adulting.
Well, here's the reality. I'm not sure if I'm going to shop there anymore
Okay.
because I feel strongly about working with certain people
Yes.
that I like.
Yes.
But I feel bad. I don't want to go back there if I'm not sure if I'm going to buy from her.
Okay. You just want to be honest with her because you
Yeah.
like her. What did she write you?
She just said, I'm toying with the idea of taking tomorrow off, but I want to be here if you're planning on coming in.
Say that's so sweet of you. To be perfectly honest, I think I may be seeing another store. I don't want to lead you on.
Okay.
I just want you to know that I really appreciated the time we spent together. It's not you, it's me. I think you're terrific.
I wish you all the best.
Yes.
Hope we could be friends.
Yes. It's just that your couch is not as meaningful to me as this other couch, and I hate that I'm this way, but I have to follow my heart.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna write her when I leave here, and I'm gonna.
But you weren't recording that? You should have.
I did.
Oh, I'm recording it.
You're
so
recording
fine.
it.
So you could just go back to the episode.
Yeah, no, you're right. But I had to get my measurements today, and then I can tell her whether or not. Anyway, whatever. We digress. But that was a very mature thing that we just did, which was don't shove it under the rug right now. Let's think about it right now.
Yes.
Which is helpful in life. I'm such a
Communication.
a shover under the rug person.
Yes. So I have a friend. It's a mutual friend of ours. I'll be vague for privacy purposes. They're starting to, she's starting to be in a relationship that really is meaning something to her. And one of the things that she'd said to me last night was, dating a 35-year-old is such a big difference in terms of communication. And so very, very clear to her that just a little bit older communication is easier and clearer, and there's, I guess, less ego involved. And although you make mistakes, when you communicate, when you put it all on the table, then you can get through whatever misunderstandings may happen.
Wait a minute. How old is this person?
Not 35, younger.
Oh, this person's younger than 35, I see.
And they started dating someone who was 35, and they're feeling like the communication with people her own age compared to
yes,
however many years
Yes.
older, is like a world of difference.
Oh, I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's I guess another part of just maturity is like there may be consequences for certain honesty that you have. Consequence is probably the wrong word, but like communicating is the key to understanding, obviously.
Well, and as a woman who dates men,
that you are.
Yep. I've chosen to date men. It feels chemically like what makes sense to me.
Even with all the data you've gathered over the years.
Even
still.
Yes. I have found the men that dating older men is actually better for me than younger men, because I mean, if we really pull this apart, and I don't want to be this is not a man hating point that I'm trying to make, but they do mature slower than women.
Look, I just went to a school like orientation, and they did a whole thing about kids adapting to high school and stuff like that, and how the frontal lobe matures at a much slower rate in boys than it does girls. And there were charts and pictures and stuff like that.
Oh my God.
And it was mostly a room of women too, but it was clear, that men were so much slower in terms of when their frontal lobe fully developed.
Was it being presented by women?
No, it was a social worker who was a man.
Now, did everyone giggle in the audience?
Yes, especially when he was like, "Who matures quicker, women or men?" And I yelled out, "Women!"
Yeah.
And and everybody laughed. I got a couple good laughs at that day, but it was like really
By being a heckler.
by being a bit of a heckler and owning the fact that us men are much slower emotionally, and we just develop slower.
But also like you can make up for it with a high emotional intelligence.
Yes,
because women do require that.
Absolutely. I mean, I haven't had that luck in my early days of being like emotionally aware and thoughtful and really empathetic. But
you are.
Yes, and so
you mean your early days, like prior to now?
Yes, like my 20s and some of my 30s, something like that.
I have had like the last person I dated that was like 6 years older than me. I actually was not sure if it was gonna. I was a little nervous at first because I was like, I don't know if what if he's too old for me?
Yeah, what if he wants to eat dinner at like 4:45 every night?
And but I found that I respected that age. And now that I'm actually talking to someone who's way older than 6 years older than me right now.
Way older.
Meaning like,
yes,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
I've been thinking to myself, there's a level of respect that I have for that person, for somebody who, like, if I can't just be on my worst behavior in a relationship. Like I can't, like I really want to be.
Right.
I want to be like calling that person crying, telling them that like, I need this, I need that, like demand. And for some reason, if they're older than me, I feel like I shouldn't do that.
Okay, this is interesting. Now we're getting somewhere. This is really interesting.
I feel like I should be more on my best behavior.
Yeah.
And that is very beneficial to the relationship.
Okay.
Because and the beginning stages too, because it actually forces me to act in my best interest and the other person's.
Yeah, and it gives you the most chance at success, I think, too.
Yeah. And then I realize while I'm acting like an adult or maturely, I guess, that it's not as hard as I thought it would be.
No, because there's so many things that you do as an adult every day that you're probably not tracking as, look, I'm being an adult. The way that you have to handle clients that probably rub you the wrong way, and how you don't scratch their eyes out immediately and you only think about their death.
Or coworkers.
It's
mostly the coworkers.
Those are the worst. I kind of find for myself in my own relationship, I'm going to call it a relationship because I think that's what it is. Everything that I've gone through in my life has kind of led me to this moment to be prepared, to be the best person I can be for my partner. And then she makes me the best version of myself as well. So there is a level of there's a maturity to it that just feels right, and I don't feel like I have to work at it. I guess my point is, I think I've always felt like I had to work at being mature. I had to make an effort to be responsible. Right now I'm being challenged in all of the bad patterns that I had. They're like challenging me. It's challenging my patience, which I need to stay in the moment and not future myself and be ahead of myself, but I have to stay where I am. So I'm getting challenged in the way that I need to be challenged. Like my life's work is being unfolded in front of me in this relationship and in the way that I need it. Like, so it's kind of perfect for me in that sense too. And I don't have to work at any of that. Like it's just I'm able to be who I am, and all of the experiences are able to help me navigate and care for that other person in the right way without, I wouldn't say effort, but without doing the work that I thought I'd have to do to be mature. You know, there's a naturalness to it.
Maturity is
it's not thinking about being mature, really.
Well, it's kind of like we earn it.
Yeah, right?
We earn it through life experiences.
The reason it's brought up, this whole topic, topic. The reason I brought up this topic, I don't know why I'm talking like that. So my youngest was in a play this Thursday, yeah. And some of his toxic friends who he plays online with were like threatening him all week with like, we're going to just take pictures of you. We're going to send these pictures of you looking like a fool and stuff to you all week. And so they went to the show and they took pictures, and then there was a talk back, and then one of them got the mic and was like, hey, you in the green, we're going to send you your whole performance of like 1,000 like bullied him in front of everybody. And then his mom confronted the kids, and then I confronted the kids, and like this kid was just like taking video of him and just giggling and stuff like that. And it was really hard to not want to eviscerate this fucking loser of a kid, but I'm an adult. And so like, yeah, you have to hold the kids accountable, and like fucking bullying is an awful thing. And I don't want my kids, I don't want them playing with these other kids online and being online, and the toxicity that we see in everything, where people are anonymous and say awful things, and people are fucking racist and misogynistic, and it's so easy for them when they don't have to put a face. This is this culture of meanness that goes on, and these kids just do this to each other all the time. And I have to be mature in how I handle it. And I don't, everything in me wants to not be mature. Everything wants to, I want to make this kid feel bad about himself for 30 years. I mean, that's like my instinct is like
30 is not enough.
No, it's definitely not enough. But like I go through scenarios in my head where I'm saying awful things to this kid. Like, I won't even go into it, but like, it's really hard. And then I'm like, you're an adult, so hold them accountable, do the right thing, and make sure that there are consequences in the best way that you can. But that's really hard. And then in doing all of that, my kid is now affected by it, because it's like his mom and dad got involved, and now we've made it worse, and he wished it would just go away. And so he's pissed at us in some ways for making it a thing. But like, how do you not make it a thing?
Mm-hmm.
So my maturity is being tested all over the place. And so with my ex, his mom, we get to be immature together. Like, we'll text back and forth the most immature things, and how we fucking these losers.
But
and
is
blah, 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 blah.
Is it immature if, you guys are really just, you guys are doing your best for like something as co-parents. This is the first time something like this has happened to this child in this way.
Yeah,
specifically,
for sure.
And how else are you guys supposed to handle it?
Well, what I would say to that is, because most of me agrees with you, but what I would say to that is, if I put myself in the immature place of a 14-year-old and how he feels about it, I understand his frustration and being upset with how we handled it. I'm not sorry that I did it. She's not sorry that she did it. But like, I do have empathy for him, that maybe we made it worse for him by thinking we were being mature.
It's interesting. The way that you handle, I don't know what you did. Did you just kind of do something in the moment as it was happening? That's kind of how
what I did was I went and sat down behind the kids, and what do you?
Sorry, I'm
so squeaky.
Sorry.
I went and sat down behind the kids to see what they were doing, and I kind of leaned in and I made sure that I took a picture. And then when one of them saw me, they were like, cut it out. Like said to the kid who was videotaping to cut it out. And they're like, what are you doing? And I was like, well, I'm just making sure that I take a picture of the kid who's bullying my kid. And then one of them like, it's so weird, you're an adult, and blah blah blah. I was like, what's weird is that they're like, we're his friends. We're alumni. We're supposed to be here, and we're his friends, and it's weird that you're sitting here with us. And I was like, well, what's weird is that you think that this is the way friends treat each other, And they're like, no, I think it's weird. I was like, well, I'm his father, and I think it's weird that you're bullying your friend, that you think that this is friendship, and there has to be consequences when you do things like that.
Now, if you had done nothing, what would have happened?
He would have been peppered with these pictures. They would have been like attacking him online. They would have been like,
so that's not happening anymore
teasing him.
because of what you did.
Well, he's avoiding it. The school, because that kid doesn't go to the school anymore. The school, he's always been a problem. The school is not letting him back on the campus anymore. They're like banning him from the campus. The kid's parents went bullshit on him. The whole school, the school staff and stuff like that is in an uproar.
When they say they went bullshit on him, what does that mean?
They were like yelling at him in the parking lot.
Oh, okay,
and stuff
so,
like that.
Yeah.
And right now he's not playing with them online. He's playing with one of the kids, but not all of the kids. They're all on vacation.
I guess I just wonder, like, if you hadn't intervened and if no one had intervened, and would your son have suffered consequences that maybe he would eventually have worked through?
I think yes. And I think he's already done that because he's at a place where he's like, well, there's nothing to be done, so I just have to take it. You know, he's already like at a place of acceptance that this is okay behavior, you know, and it's not. And it's hard to separate yourself from these people that you think are your friends. But in his mind, he's just like, I'm waiting it out. I'm going to go to high school next year. And so I'll have a whole bunch of new friends and I won't need these friends anymore.
Well, that's actually a really mature way of thinking.
Yes.
For a 14-year-old.
I just hate the fact that he believes that he has to put up with it. He has to take it.
It's also surprising that, you know, in this culture today where like you're at a good school and we are aware of bully culture, that people are still doing that.
Yeah, and this is a school that definitely prides itself on kindness and stuff. So they really want to rein it in. Look, this kid has been a problem for a while. When this kid finally left the school, my youngest felt such relief. Like it was like he left during a Christmas break, and when he went back to school, it's like a couple of weeks he just felt lighter, like not having that burden. But they still like were friends online or what, you know, whatever. It really is a toxic relationship that he's been in with this kid. And then he went to a birthday party a couple of weeks ago that his mom, like my youngest, his mom was like kind of pushing him toward going to, but he probably had this feeling inside him like, I don't want to be around this kid physically, you know. And so she feels bad about that now in retrospect of all that.
Well, it's
happened. Interesting
how like kids in school are kind of forced to be around people that make them uncomfortable.
Yeah, and this is a very small school that he goes to, so it's really hard to not be friendly with everybody or like, you know, interact with everybody for certain. But he's got a lot of friends who are girls, and obviously they're much more mature. And
their frontal lobes.
Yeah, their frontal lobes are much more developed, so they are kinder. And those are his close friends on a day-to-day basis, outside of the online bullshit. But the online bullshit's it's real, and kids are very computer driven, and so things have got to change. And so that's another part of maturity, is that myself and his mom have really got to make other things happen for him in his life, so that the computers and computer gaming and being online isn't everything.
Right.
You know, so.
When I was in middle school, I was on AOL Instant Messenger, as I was most of the time.
Back in the wild, wild west of Instant Messenger.
God, it was like I was addicted to it. And I had crushes on like 5 boys at the same time. And I was always trying to like, you know, I would just like stalk them. I would just like sign on to see if they were there. And then if their away message was on or if they took it off, and then I'd message them like right away. And there was one person I talked to a lot that I had a crush on for a long time. And one time he and his friend like got really rude with me. And I remember like I had the box open on the computer, and I don't know how this happened, but I think I took when they got rude with me, I actually took some pictures of it and I sent it to another friend, and somehow my mom found it. So she found this conversation that these boys were having with me, and she was like, who are these people? Like, this is like cyberbullying. And I'm like, well, I know them. It's just like, doesn't make it better.
Right.
But she actually, I don't remember if she asked me. No, she didn't, because if she had asked me if I wanted her to do something about it, I would have said no. But I think she did it anyway. I think she went to the principal of the school and told.
These were kids that you went to school with.
Yeah.
It wasn't just.
They were in my classes with me.
All right.
And
so
I had a crush on one of them.
Right. It wasn't just online people.
No. Yeah, these were real people. And she went to the principal and said, my daughter's being bullied online. But because it was screen names and no one knew who anyone was, my mom couldn't tell her who it was.
Right.
And apparently the principal probably talked to all of my teachers to find out who was I friends with. And she called in somebody who was not that person
Oh no.
to speak with them about what they had done to me online.
The early days, they didn't know how to get real evidence.
And this person was somebody who was a dear friend of mine who I was not very nice to, probably because there was a little bit of he liked me, I liked him at different times.
Yeah,
and I was like one of those girls that I actually was not nice to him. I would hurt him. I remember going into classrooms where he was and I would hit him over the head with my books.
Claire.
I don't know.
That's classic signs of you liked him, though.
It is, but it's also physical assault.
No, it's definitely physical assault. And you're telling everybody in the world, I don't like this person.
No.
By doing this action.
But so he and I were good friends, and he never would have said any of those crude things.
Did he get in trouble?
He got called in, and I didn't know that until I want to say it must have been maybe 5 to 10 years later.
What?
Because, and I don't remember if it was 5 or 10, because I didn't see him for a long period of time. And then one of the last conversations I remember having with him, he was like, did you tell blah, blah, blah that I bullied you online? And I'm like, no, what are you talking about? This was way, way, way after the fact.
This poor kid.
Yeah.
Had been carrying this burden for how long? 5 to 10 years, you said?
Maybe. I mean, I can't remember. And he went into addiction and recovery. Not because of what happened, but
you can think whatever you want, Claire.
But and I just didn't really get to see him for a while again. Maybe it was only 5 years after that.
Yeah.
But I felt so bad because my mom. So the difference in what you did at this event this week and what my mom did was my mom did something I didn't really even know she did it.
Right.
And then, or they called me in and they were like, we need to talk to you about cyberbullying. What happened is not okay. And if this happens again, you need to tell us. And I was like, it's fine. It was a joke.
It was all good. Protect people who are cruel to me.
I know. But then what you did was a little bit more taking action at the time and really nipping it in the butt as it happened.
Let's hope. I mean, it's let's hope.
Which is not whoever what my mom did and what you did. No one's wrong because you're trying to protect your child, which is your job.
Yeah.
And in this fucking day and age, when you could just AI some fucking porn of whatever and release it.
Wait, you can?
Probably.
Oh my God.
I would imagine.
We are sending Grady naked pictures out.
No. Oh my God, what did I see recently? I saw
oh no.
It was a Lord of the Rings.
Claire, stop looking at porn.
No, it wasn't that. It was a 90s, I think I sent it
Rings
to you.
Porn? Is that what it is?
No, a 90s sitcom Lord of the Rings thing.
Yeah.
It looked so
opening.
real.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I cannot believe AI did that.
Yeah. It's taking over the world.
So anyway.
We only use it for good. We use it for definitions.
Yeah. Speaking of, should we get into myths and cliches?
Sure, if you like. Ultimately, the maturity, it just forced my maturity. And I didn't really want to be mature at all. So maturity, adulting. One of the cliches is fake it till you make it. the idea of pretending to be confident or competent can eventually lead to genuine confidence. I just
The way that you said that.
because I hate that saying. Like, I hate that saying, fake it till you make it. Why not just be sincere and truthful and admit that you don't fully get a concept and maybe ask questions and actually learn it so that you're,
Fake it till you make it is only useful in sales.
Okay, I'll give you that.
When
I'll give
you
that.
have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, and eventually you just have to make some shit up and until you start believing in it.
Yeah. And look, when I became a parent, and I probably have said this before, but like the thing that stood out to me more than anything else was I wanted to be thoughtful because I knew I was going to make mistakes. I know I've said this before on this podcast because it's like a foundation of what I try to be. I knew I would make mistakes, so I thought just be thoughtful about things so that when you do make the mistakes, it's easier to digest it, knowing that you didn't make a mistake just because you were flippant or didn't think about stuff. So I guess you can call that fake it till you make it, but or just try to be thoughtful.
But are you faking anything? You're not.
No. And when you first become a parent, I mean, is it faking it? No, you're just kind of dealing with what's in front of you.
Nothing that you're doing is fake about it.
But you don't know what the fuck you're doing. That's why in-laws, that's why your mother-in-law usually stays with you for a couple weeks just to give you a foundation of like, this won't kill the baby and this will be okay.
And this will kill the baby.
Yeah. Don't shake it. Babies are not to be shaken. Number 2, adulting is hard. A straightforward acknowledgement of the challenges that come with adult responsibilities. Yeah. I mean, even though it's a cliche, it's true.
But on the topic of maturity, like adulting doesn't come in one day.
No.
There have been a couple of days where I'm like faced with something and I'm like, oh, this was an adult thing that I just had to think about.
Right.
Like I remember the first time I really learned about how health insurance works.
Okay.
And I was like,
or paying your taxes
no,
or something
you.
like that.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's
it's too difficult.
Yeah.
And then I go in TurboTax and I'm like, oh, I could do this.
Right.
You know?
And then you mess it up like I did and then you can't go back because you've ruined your relationship with them.
Oh, you ruined your relationship with...
I broke it. I broke my TurboTax.
What?
Yeah. I fucked it up so hard.
Did you register as like a billionaire or something?
I can't go back to...
I don't understand.
I had multiple jobs in different places.
Okay.
So it wasn't as straightforward as like I had one job at one place and here's
yeah.
one W-2 that I upload and this and that.
Additional income, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I just had like that year I'd had a freelance job and then I had a job in New York and then I had a job in Connecticut and that screws everything up. And then
you gotta pay taxes
and then I did something like, and then it, because it asks questions and I didn't know if I answered them correctly. And then I did something where I decided not to e-file. I did not e-file. It was, I mean, I spent a long time on the phone with them.
And then they basically said to you, like,
we don't
thank
know.
you for your time. I don't think you should come back.
Yeah.
We can't. Wow, Claire.
So now I go to a person.
Oh, yeah.
No more TurboTax for Claire. She fucked that one up in her adult life.
Jeez.
I don't even think I was that old. I was like 26.
I get calls all the time like, you have back taxes. We can help you with your back taxes. Blah, blah, like constantly. And I'm like, wait, what? Did they get something that made me a target for them to do it? And then I go back and look and it's like, no, I paid my taxes.
Oh, yeah.
So,
no, never listen to those people.
No. But like I get it so consistently. I'm like, wait, do you know something that I don't know?
Oh my God. That's so scary. And
it is?
Yeah. And for those of us who don't, like, I'm surrounded by people who, like, we're constantly on alert for scams.
Yeah.
So, but if I wasn't in that type of environment, I don't know what I'd fall for.
I get now a text about you owe a toll bill in New York. And I'm like, yeah, I do owe a toll bill because I drove in. But it doesn't look legit, so I don't answer it. And I'm like, wait, do I have...
No.
What?
That's a thing now. I called the toll people the other day to pay a bill.
I bet I have to.
And they actually...
They used to send a bill.
Yes, and I did get the bill, and then I called to pay it because I had a question or something. And one of their prompts says, it actually addresses that.
Just, we'll send a text?
It says if you're getting a text, it is a scam.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
So I
don't know where
for
my
bill
whoever's
is.
listening.
Yeah, don't respond to texts like that stuff. Number 3, you never really stop learning. I agree with that. I don't know that that's a cliche.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like what makes life fun is that we continue to learn. I don't want to know everything.
Such a nice surprise when you learn something new.
Yeah, like genuine surprise. Money doesn't grow in trees. It's so
I hate when people say that, because please don't remind me that they don't grow in trees. And actually, isn't money made of paper?
Yes, so it does grow in trees. You just have to, I don't know the process of
Trees
making
grow into paper.
Yeah, the grass is always greener on the other side. How are these adult?
How are
things?
these adult things?
I don't know.
These are immature things.
You can see things on Instagram and whatever, and you're like, oh, everybody's life looks so much greater than mine, but it's all manufactured too. So
well, these these things, these ads that I see, like these women who endorse products, and they're like, I just woke up this morning and I had the best smoothie ever from this food company that I got delivered to my house, and this is how I made it. And then all the sounds sound really good, and the videos look clean. Like their kitchens are pristine, and their nails are beautiful, and their faces are beautiful. They look amazing, and they look so comfy in their cute matching like sweatpant outfits.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's just not me. And I'm like, that's what I want to be, but I never will look like that.
I also don't think you'd be happy with that. I don't think you would.
I mean, the only thing I have are the nice nails.
But
nothing.
You're gonna have a nice kitchen.
I might have a nice kitchen. It's a small kitchen, but at least
Small?
it's mine.
Yeah. I like on TikTok, they're like, oh, somebody's losing their job at TikTok because they didn't take this thing off sale. And it's like, you all do the same thing. Someone told you to do this thing, and so you all do the same thing. Sometimes when somebody's giving a political opinion, they'll be eating to make it seem casual. And it's like somebody wrote somewhere that you should be eating, so it makes you look casual. It's so stupid because everybody does it, and then it ruins it. Anyways, I've moved on from cliches to myths because I didn't like the cliches. Maturity equals age. I don't think that's true. You can have a mature person who's young, who's just maybe been through the ringer and gets it. Mature people don't make mistakes.
No,
that's horseshit.
That is such horseshit.
Yeah. I mean, mature people make mistakes, they accept them, and they learn from them. That's maturity. Maturity means being serious. I think that's an interesting one because I think the perception of youth, wow, such grand statements coming out of Matthew. The perception of youth is that maturity means you can never have fun again. Yeah, I think that's a huge myth. Being mature doesn't mean that you have to be serious. It just means that you know when to take things seriously and when not to take things seriously.
Yes.
There's sometimes where you have to be a little serious, but I think sometimes people appreciate my advice, even though Grady doesn't believe in advice, is that I can be serious in 1 second and then end with a joke, to kind of not lighten it, but it doesn't take away from the serious thing that I may have said in response to somebody. But I don't know, that balance to me is maturity. Being able to do both of those things. I don't know. I can't articulate it, but that's my style. That's my mature style.
Yeah, I mean, there is an element of seriousness that over the last, I want to say 6 to 9 months, I've been taking things very seriously.
Okay.
And I've sometimes forget to have fun. And
I disapprove, Claire.
It's not good. And so and then when I do sit back and relax and have fun, I'm like, oh my God, I forgot that life is not about being tense all the time.
No. And
then if you're constantly when you're constantly in that tense place, you don't actually allow yourself to enjoy, and being serious and enjoying life and having a little frivolity and youthful and joy are all a part of maturity, because you can't just be a serious, boring person all day long.
No, maturity is balance. You know, living an adult life is balance, having both the seriousness and the fun. I think it's why we like doing plays, even though they frustrate us at times. It's like, yeah, get that, Claire. That's important that you. Oh, it's an alarm saying you got to go.
It's an alarm saying I have to go get gas.
Oh well,
which I might not do. I'd rather run out of gas.
Claire, you're never going to run out of gas. And it makes me wonder how gassy you've been this whole time.
Not gassy, actually.
Oh, nice. Well, because it's the new diet.
Yeah.
When we do a play, it's literally forcing us to get into a playful mode. And although we can get frustrated with things like that, it's a reminder of play, which is fun. We can wrap this up anyways soon. You become mature overnight. Obviously, that's not true. It's a lifetime of experiences that help us manage how to handle maybe even high-stress things. Maturity means having everything figured out. Of course not, because it's about learning. Emotional expression equals immaturity. Well, fuck you. I disagree with that totally and completely. I think when you can share your vulnerability, when you is a sign of maturity.
Yep.
Maturity is fixed. I don't know what that means.
No.
Mature people avoid conflict. I don't think so. I think they work through conflict in a respectful way.
Mm-hmm.
Maturity means being independent.
Skip that one.
And maturity is just about responsibility. I don't think so.
Responsibility is important.
Yes.
And I think learning to take responsibility of things does develop maturity.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, for instance, this whole diet thing that I've been doing has required me to take responsibility of what I'm eating.
Yeah.
And it has led me to, I don't know, maturity sounds like a stretch, to be honest.
No, but you made a mature decision to change your diet in order to solve a problem physically with you that was important. And so that feels like a mature thing to do, as opposed to thinking, oh, it's just going to get better on its own. And so I can continue to make maybe not the best food choices for myself.
Right.
In terms of preserving my voice.
Yeah.
So it feels like a mature choice.
Yeah. It kind of just felt desperate.
I think that's understandable though too. Look, when I had my heart condition, the mature thing to do was to quit vaping. And so I quit vaping. Was it desperate? Oh yeah, it was desperate. But like, it was still a mature decision, and it's a mature decision that I'm still dealing with on a day-to-day basis. Because I'd love to sit here and be smoking with you the whole time.
Oh, me too.
It would be so cool.
That'd be so fun.
Have a big ashtray here.
With no like physical ramifications.
No, we could just light up at one after another.
Yeah, I'd love that. Oh, okay.
All right, maybe
Let's just cut that part out.
We've got immature. Okay, so I think that's a pretty interesting discussion we had about maturity. It went into bullying a little bit, but like that's part of.
But that is part of it.
Yeah, and that's certainly what I was dealing with.
Yeah. Well, we've all dealt with that.
Yeah.
We've witnessed it. We've experienced it. We maybe have done it.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to think that I'm totally innocent, but I know that there are times where my joking has gone too far and has hurt people's feelings. I don't know that my intent was to hurt people's feelings, but like that doesn't make a difference if I did it, you know? Certainly that insensitivity. Anyways, this was fun.
Mm-hmm. I love my chair. Maybe that's why I'm not as gassy today.
I don't know. You look so very comfortable that even though you moved the mic a couple times, for the most part, you just sat back in your chair and the mic's been right there in front of your face.
This is great.
All right.
All right.
Until next time?
Yeah, I'll be here.
Awesome.
Next time
it's because of the chair, not the company. It's the chair.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to the Last Will podcast. For those of you who've been listening for a while, you see we're trying to play with a few new things, some different music, some different types of intros. We're having fun. We're trying to reinvent ourselves. We're going to try to be coming at you a lot more consistently. We're working on our schedule. We're going to have some special guests, all of that stuff. But thank you for listening. We really appreciate it. If you want to tell us something, please write us over at slip into our DMs over at the Instagram. We are The Last Will Podcast. I think it's Matt Young at thelastwillpodcast.com. If you want to send me an email or something like that, please rate, review, and subscribe. That does us a hell of a lot of good when you do. So, as always, thank you for listening. We really appreciate it. And onward, forward,